Welcome to the talk show of William Angliss Institute SLIIT. Today we are very different. Today we are doing a virtual session with Mr. Kapila Kumara. He's from Doha. Now we are going to talk about today how the COVID situation in Doha, how they operate in Doha, more especially the hotel sector. So it's very interesting session for all of us to know about how this quarantine sector and also the COVID-19 guidelines are applied in Doha. Hi Kapila, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, nice to see you after some time on a virtual platform.
Yes, nice to see you too.
Usually our session is a physical session where we can't meet physically, but we have to do this, but it's nice to meeting you over the Zoom call. See, Kapila, now, as I told you before, today's discussion point, how this COVID-19 is impacted in Doha. So you can start from there before we moving on to our discussion.
Yes, COVID-19 is a world disaster and it's pandemic situation, and every country in the world is having bad impact, and a lot of people are affected. But this part of the world is also entire Middle East. But when we talk about Qatar, from the beginning, I know when it came first time, no one knew what exactly is going on and what we can do with this. So when the numbers keep increasing, the government they had a real good vision on this. They have implemented something like phase 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we are at the phase 4.
Okay.
Initially, what they did, they started doing in every area they started doing tests. They were doing I think closely millions of tests, and then they started implementing a lot of health precautions, wearing masks and distance, and make awareness of the people about this COVID-19. And they have implemented the application, the mobile application.
So Kapila, now talking from the hoteliering point of view, now Sri Lanka is highly talking about now how we operate the hotels. We are talking about the tourism bubbles. We are trying to open the airport very soon, and so many projects are coming up. How it is happening in your country?
In this country, recently we got the statistics of the entire world. The good thing is Doha is having 60% occupancy during last quarter 3, last 3 months. During this COVID period when it was really high, we are number 1 in the world. We had 60% occupancy. What they have done, they have implemented a quarantine package.
Okay, quarantine packages. Okay.
Quarantine package, 7 and 14 days. There are 2 packages, 7 days quarantine and 14 days quarantine.
Whoever. So what nationality are you looking at? What nationalities are you looking at?
The nationality wise, there's no nationality specifically. There's no a particular nationality. Whoever comes to the country, they must be quarantined for 7 days, and some of them are 14 days. So what happens? There's only one travel agency dealing with this, linked to Qatar Airways. So they have to make a reservation. It is mandatory to make the reservation through that travel agent.
Okay.
It is mandatory reservation, so it's non-refundable. Whoever comes to the country, they have to stay in a hotel for 7 days.
So past 6 months or 7-8 months, what are the major countries that you see, major markets are coming to you? Is it European market or?
European market has there is an improvement compared to February, March.
Okay.
Now it keeps moving, and in major it is now Asian countries.
Asian countries. Yeah.
And also Europe is
I'm
for moving.
sorry, Kapila. Is it Far East or other Asian countries? So South
All
Asian,
the Asian countries,
all
even
Asian.
Far East, all the yes.
Because sometime back, Sri Lanka is also looking at to get some tourists from Korea, Japan, and those areas. How the situation in Doha?
In Doha, in Major, this is actually a mixed country, like has tourism and business.
Okay.
So nowadays, tourism, we have a growth in the ship cruise, like the cruise business as well. However, as it is a mixed country, like both business and tourism, actually we have more growth in business clients.
Okay. So, Kapila, now talk. It's very interesting point. That's why I'm asking people. I'm asking a lot of questions because it's a new experience for us because we are trying to experience this in future. But this context, what I want to know, what sort of activities you all do? How do you differ from other countries? Okay, you said 60% of occupancy. That's a very good number.
Yeah.
To come into a destination, right? What are the activities you all do? How do you differentiate from other countries?
From the other countries, honestly, now these activities came into the city in the phase 4. Phase 1, 2, 3, we didn't have any activities to control that spread of COVID-19. But now in the phase 4, they have opened, like you can have, we don't have really like a bigger leisure activities, because if we are doing that, I think it is because we should not go against the WHO
regulations.
Yeah, and so that's why we don't have that kind of leisure activities. But here, what we most of them have is now, like they have limited the whatever. Whenever you have a wedding or something, okay, you have to have it like 30% of the capacity of that particular venue. Most of them, such things are happening, and these are kind of major things. But I would be honest, they have opened the restaurants also with that percentage. Especially this city is moving most of them with that dining and those kind of things. However, we have not really opened for bigger events or bigger activities so far.
How about the Expo coming up in 2022? Any plans for that?
For 2022, we have the FIFA World Cup.
Yeah.
So they are really working hard on it. It is going to be a really safe, and it's going to be really the happening here. They are really work harding on this. They are really focusing on that particular segment nowadays. Even they have a lot of new hotels, and their infrastructure entire city is going to be changed. It's almost half done, I guess, the way I see here when we walk on and when we go around, and everything is going to be like super luxurious, and also more leisure as well. They are ready for it.
Due to COVID, no one has stopped anything. It's going as it is. Huh?
It is going on. Even road constructions, building constructions. Honestly speaking, here nothing is stopped.
Nothing stopped.
Nothing is stopped. But every single person is aware of what COVID is and how to behave. That is all because of the government's involvement and their positive vision.
Okay. Good. Thank you, Kapila. Kapila Kumara is a reservations and revenue manager at Golden Tulip Hotel in Doha. Doha, right? You are at Doha. So I want to know his career and how he began and what are the activities he has done in the past. So Kapila, tell us about your career. How did you start?
Yeah, it's a good point. I started in Sri Lanka as a trainee bellboy.
Okay.
That is in Club Hotel Dolphin.
Okay.
So after that, I moved to Habarana, the lodge. It was called Lodge, but now it's Cinnamon Lodge in Habarana. That is as a receptionist. So I just moved step by step. And from there, I moved to Dubai in 2007. That was as a reservations agent. So I had a chance to work with Starwood Hotels chain. Now it is under Marriott. So I worked as a cluster reservations agent. We were handling actually two properties, Grosvenor House and Le Royal Meridian Resort and Spa. So it's about 1,000 plus rooms and about closely 30 restaurants in both properties. So I was working as a reservations agent. Then there I got promoted like after 3 years, a supervisor. So I became a supervisor.
So now you are in Dubai, right? Not yet moved to Doha.
No, I'm still in Dubai in 2007 to 2011.
Yeah.
Then after that, I got opportunity to become reservations in charge in one of the pre-opening properties it was a Spanish hotel chain called Melia. It's one of the biggest chains in the world as well. So I got the opportunity to work as a pre-opening team. So I got that experience also there. I started as reservations in charge. So my major duties were like handling reservations. I was not into revenue yet, but I was just looking at what my boss is doing. Then after that,
so back in the day, reservations were under sales and marketing or business development or front office. Back in the day,
depends. Back in the those days when I was just working with them, it was it's an individual department.
Okay. Okay.
It's under revenue, but some hotels it is part of sales. Some hotels it is actually individual department under revenue.
Now, you know why I asked that question. In Sri Lanka, of course, mostly it's under front office, or it's moving to a revenue department. But revenue department is a sub department of a sales and marketing or business development department. That's why I just wanted to get it clarified. So
okay.
Slowly we are getting this concept, revenue concept. We'll come back to you that concept later on. So I just wanted to know how it happened in 2007, back in the day.
Yeah,
not now.
It was actually, even now it's an individual department because it can be under business development, but I don't think it is better to be on the sales and marketing department. Correct. Because they are having some clashes.
Yeah.
So yes. Then I moved to Grand Millennium, again Grand Millennium Dubai, as assistant reservations manager. So I stayed there for about 2 years. There I got the opportunity to have a look at how revenue works. Even from the Melia, I had that rough idea how it works. Then I was there for about 2 years closely. I wanted to try a different thing, different city. Then I moved to Maldives.
So now from Middle East to South Asia.
South Asia, yes. It's a totally different region. Then I moved to Maldives as a e-commerce manager.
So that is way back in 2007, 10 or?
That is now about in 2015.
15, okay. Very close, yeah, 5 years before.
I normally don't stay in a property like more than 2 years, but now I'm here more than 2 years because it's a really nice property. So there, I was handling like 4 hotels, 3 5-star hotels and 1 4-star. There's one in Sri Lanka also called Sun Aqua in Pakistan.
Sun Aqua, okay. Yeah. Which atoll in Maldives?
Not at all.
Not at all.
No, we were based in the city, Male.
Male itself.
Yeah. We were a cluster department, so we were based in Male. But unfortunately, it was a really nice team and really good management. People were good, but that island concept for me was not really working because I
it's good pay. In Maldives, it's good pay.
It's a good pay, and also you can save money because you don't have many options to spend.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a different concept as well. More into leisure, more equal to Sri Lanka, and but after 3 months, I left.
So after 3 months, you left. Okay.
Yeah, because I cannot control. I cannot stay in that location. Everything is perfect. But when I see like isolated, everywhere you can see the sea and beaches. So, but a person who started career in Dubai or Qatar or this kind of city, it's little bit hard to be adjusted in an island like Mali. But
Yeah,
it's
so
a real good place.
Actually, for right now, Maldives is the ideal destination for everyone to live. So
To be
isolated.
To be
Right
isolated.
now, during this situation, yeah. So
Exactly.
after that, what happened, Kapil?
After that, I came straight to Doha again. But I came as a reservations and e-commerce manager. So every move, I have one step forward.
Okay.
So I'm growing slowly.
So now it's why I'm asking these questions on and off, because this e-commerce and revenue management, it's very new to Sri Lanka, right? All of our viewers might wonder what this revenue management and e-commerce things like that. So that's why I wanted to know what is this e-commerce all about. Then what is revenue management?
E-commerce is part of revenue management, but e-commerce is the boosting part. We have three things to manage in revenue management. As a revenue manager, you have to have a good occupancy.
Okay.
You have to have a good average daily rate.
ADR.
Yeah. You have to have a good RevPAR. Revenue per available room. So those three things we have to manage. When you come to e-commerce, it is, for me, in major is selling our property online.
Okay.
Online also you have different things, but I'm talking about selling, we call it OTAs, online travel agents, on the direct rates, like best available rates.
Bar
rates. I'm elaborating it because just to give you, or maybe
you elaborate, I'll give you the terminology.
Exactly. Because I thought you have to have some more information. So when I use the revenue words, maybe you will have some questions.
No, why? Because revenue and e-commerce reservation, that's my pet subject. So when I was in hotels, I used to do so much of revenue management, e-commerce, and reservation. So that's my pet subject. So that's why I'm asking more questions in a different way.
Okay, thank you so much. And this is online channels. It's about boosting. You have to maintain your. We have something called parity. The rate has to be
parity.
Yeah. So we are now dealing like about 25 websites, 25 online third-party travel agencies, plus my brand website. So you have to maintain your content, proper content, and your rates, competitive rates. Especially you have to know what your market is selling, what your competitors are selling, and you have to know what events going on in the city, and what the disasters what we are facing now, how you face during such kind of strategy. So these things, looking at all these things, you have to push your property to optimize the revenue through your channels, third-party channels. And again, the other
what is your preference to your brand website? Is it the top or middle or the least? The brand website.
It should be on the top. For me, it should be on the top because it's non-commissionable. You don't pay commissions.
Correct.
And then brand awareness. People should see my property and then immediately book it. The others are really supporting to boost my ADR.
Yeah, correct.
So that's the main segment. When you're talking about one segment, but there are so many segments, I would say. This is why I like e-commerce, and it is always. We have some other things like meta search and all optimization. So the search engine optimizations, all these different subjects.
So Kapila, how do you keep this parity, right? So what was the strategy that you use when you keep the parity, the rate parity?
Yeah. Very good question. What you have to do is, it's not a rocket science. You have to offer, if you're offering one rate, this rate has to be for all the third parties. If you have a promotion.
Hold on, Kapila. He's talking about all online travel agents. We call it OTAs. Am I correct?
Yes.
All the travel agents, you need to give the one rate. That's what he's talking about. Yes.
One rate. If you have a promotion, it has to be for all. When you implement a promotion, the promotion should go for all the third-party travel agencies. If you are selling your room types, you have 5 room types or 10 room types, all 10 room types should be given to all online channels.
Correct.
Okay.
So basically the room type, room category, then the rates should be
rates, promotion equal to everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe you can play a little bit with your brand website.
Of course, your brand website should be lower. Am I correct?
This is because it can be like 5% lower because you have to show a difference to the client. I get this benefit.
Sorry, most revenue managers do not give the correct answer for them. That's their gimmick.
It has to be given because it's our country, and then people should trust the country's the channels as well.
Yeah.
Not only the property. Because when you come to Sri Lanka, okay, these people are giving the right thing. So that mentality has to be created in our clients. So that is also there. So that is how we gain the trust on our properties. This is what we, in general, in a few simple words, this is what we do on the e-commerce part.
So now e-commerce, then you move to Doha as your present.
I moved to Doha again as a reservations manager and e-commerce. It is called a chain called Best Western.
Okay.
It is having like 4,000 plus hotels in the world.
In Sri Lanka also we have one hotel.
Yeah. Yes, you have one Best Western Plus. You have. Yeah. So this from this point after this, I changed like totally into revenue.
Okay.
I spent there like almost 2 years. Then I again went back to my place in my mind, Dubai. So I started as a revenue manager there now. There's a hotel chain called Auris Hotel Management. So it's a small chain, but for me, my opportunity was really important because it's a huge the improvement and huge achievement for me to become a revenue manager. So I stayed there.
So when I'm looking at your CV, I'm a little confused whether you are in Doha or whether you are in Dubai.
Now I moved to Doha. Dubai.
Okay.
Now I'm talking about 2016. 2016.
Then coming back to Doha, is it?
Yes. So 2018, I came back to Doha.
Okay. Good. Very, very inspiring story. Started from the reception, now moving to revenue department. That's very inspiring and very, very nice to hear that. So Kapila, now before I go into the second question, next question rather, I wanted to ask you which area you like more. I mean, how do you differentiate or what do you like most, whether it's e-commerce, reservations or revenue?
We cannot skip one thing. I really like all of them. For me, it's reservations is kind of entry level and also like inventory control level.
Yeah.
So you should just control the inventory. But when it comes to revenue, it is about forecasting and budget. And when you do boosting revenue and always looking at your profits. Numbers game. But when it comes to e-commerce, it's slightly kind of more interesting than the other two because it keeps moving, keeps changing every day. You have something new next day. You feel like you are really interested to see what exactly they are selling. Then I lift up my rate a little bit. When I got a booking at that rate, okay, yes, I made the right decision. So I got a little bit more bookings with higher rates, and then it's also linked to that boosting revenue and ADR. But you are really interested into looking at when you get more bookings on your channels after making right decisions on the rate, you should be more happy.
Okay.
So that is kind of more interesting part in my life.
So again, the revenue question, the revenue management question, because since it's upcoming in Sri Lanka and things like that.
It's a complicated subject, by the way.
It's very complicated. It's very complicated. It's very complicated, but it's very interesting.
It is interesting.
It is interesting. So now, how do you manage or rather do your quality controls?
Yes, that is number one. Quality control, quality in the sense the brand, the entire quality of tourism and the hospitality industry, or my quality in revenue?
In revenue, only in revenue, reservations, e-commerce.
Oh, reservations in e-commerce. This is one good checklist. You have to have your own checklist because quality is its standard. You cannot break your standards, but you can slightly bend whenever you need. Quality in the sense is, for me, e-commerce, reservations, and revenue. Reservations has its own standards, which we cannot change. Most of them, when you're especially working with the systems like Opera and all. So you have your own standards. E-commerce, it has, like I said, maintaining parity issues and content. So you have to make sure your content is 100%, no low resolution photos and no less photos. So those kind of things you have to make. These are the standards and quality in that. If you will say, I would take one of the third parties like Booking.com. They are giving you the score, your content score, your rate parity score, and then your responses, like clients, how they respond. If this is score 100%, you are maintaining your quality, right?
Yeah.
So in the revenue, if you are meeting your targets, that means I have done my quality work. If you are meeting your forecast, if you are meeting your budget, so what else you need? I haven't jumped here and there, so I have done my work with the quality. If you are not really meeting your targets, that means there's something wrong with what you have done.
Yeah, correct. Because it is not easy. It is not easy.
Because it is like water, you cannot focus like a horse. Suddenly something jumps in and then you are like stuck, and then you have to think, your strategy is different then. You have to have strategic thinking. Not only one party is involved, because so many parties involved in this.
So Kapila, it was very interesting area that we were talking about. So now I want moving on to you again about your interest. I know you are a traveler. When I check your Facebook profile, you travel a lot of destinations, right? So other than traveling, what else you like?
Honestly, that's a good question. For me, especially a person isolated in Middle East or somewhere for about 13-14 years, there are more options. In Dubai, there are so many options which we didn't try even. That is why, because we are really stuck. You go to work in the morning and then you come back home. Then there is one certain part I do is like watching some teledramas. It can be like 10. And then after that you sleep, next day you go to work. That is your entire life. So why we are interested in traveling? Because we want to take our mind, that stuck mind, away from what we see every day. That is why the major thing is traveling. The next thing is, honestly speaking, it's just watching some teledramas just to manage the time.
Yeah.
There's no interest. There are so many interests, but there's no time.
Correct. So Kapila, I'm straight going to the next question, right? Why did you like this industry at first?
Honestly, from the beginning, I didn't like the industry.
Okay.
At the beginning, okay, because I haven't seen people. Until people see something, they don't know what exactly is going in that part. When I joined, it's in Club Dolphin, so that is a resort type. I had really good manager, Mr. Samantha Gunaratna. I should of course remind him now this time.
Good friend of mine.
Seriously.
Yes.
A really helpful gentleman, and so he pushed me in some distance, some extent. So he has seen maybe the potential, which I haven't seen as a young boy. But this is where I got the interest in. Then after that, I moved to John Kills with Mr. Patrick
Pereira.
Yeah, Ganil Rodrigo Pereira.
Okay.
Then I got a different feeling, like it's totally different region, and then they have a different. Even Mr. Patrick was just pushing me a lot. Um, that is where I got the interest in. Then the main interest was money. The second step. First step was learning.
Yeah.
Then when I moved to Dubai, I think there's a growth. If you are in some certain sector, your interest is growth. You have to have that growth,
Correct.
and then money comes. But
Yes.
that's a different thing.
Kapila, we were talking about so many things now.
Yeah.
What is your message to the public during this COVID period and beyond new normal, the technology, and what is your message?
Yeah. The message, I don't know how long it will last for, another maybe 5 months, 6 months. But this is not one person's duty. This is everyone's duty, because it's about life. It's about your how you're going to live for another 15, 20 years, or you're going to live for another 10 days. So that is how it is. Everyone has to contribute. The main thing, you have to respect the health department's the restrictions and their instructions given. So you have to follow them. If somebody is asking you to wear a mask, wear a mask. It's not because you are a hero or you are a thug-like person. It doesn't matter. When Corona comes, it comes to you. You are a thug or you are innocent. It doesn't matter. You will die. So what you have to do is, countries, the governments, like our country, has a part to do, and then our people have to have a part to respect and follow the instructions. That is the main thing. As far as just do your sanitizing part, these are all the health instructions. Stay away. Our country has had a big opportunity because it's isolated. You can stay. See, now here, these countries, you have a building right next to another building.
Okay.
You have thousands people, walking on the roads. But our countries, one house, and then after another 100 meters, you have another house. You will not get a chance to have a lot of COVID patients, but we started having it because of negligence. So negligence has to be stopped. Until something like a vaccine or medicine comes to the country, so stay calm and quiet. That is the message for COVID.
Thank you, Kapila. Today, the discussion point, we were all talking about how the COVID situation in Middle East, especially in Doha, how does this happen? What are the real insights? Also, we were talking about revenue management, e-commerce, reservations, and so on and so forth. We look forward to meeting you again. Thank you very much for joining with us. See you soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you for giving me this opportunity as well. Thank you.